Welcome to the Slut Next Door podcast, where we dive deep into desire, unravel kinks and fetishes, and explore the deliciously naughty side of self-discovery. I'm Beatrix Vale, an erotic audio creator, and your guide to all things kinky and curious. So let's begin. Hello, darlings, and welcome back to my podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little different. I don't really have a set theme or any kinks to really dive into. I just wanted to sit down with you, relax, and just share some updates, some behind the scenes thoughts, and probably most likely a few rambles that have been floating around in my head. So think of this one as a cozy little catch up, like we're just hanging out together with some coffee or tea, whatever your beverage of choice is. So sit back and relax. And, sometimes it's nice for us to step away from big topics and just talk freely. So I hope you'll enjoy this more casual style because I plan on doing it maybe like once a month with this podcast. So let's see where this conversation takes us. So I wanted to start with some personal updates and talk about some things that are currently making me feel very happy. I am settling into my new home. A lot of you know that I moved, let's see, it's been a little over 2 months. So definitely settled in, but I'm at this stage now where I'm really kind of making rooms my own, decorating, because all the yucky unpacking is done. And I actually like unpacking. I've always been kind of a nester, but it's just hard work getting all the basics out of the way. So now I'm in the decorating stage and organizing, and it's so fulfilling for me because like I said, I'm a nester. So, some things that I've done, I have a lovely front porch, and I have really made it a oasis of just comfort and coziness. I did some shopping at my local antique store. So it's just filled with old, beautiful things, some new things, plants, and I can't remember if I've shared a picture with you guys, like on my social media or within loyal fans, but I discovered that hummingbirds are aplenty here. So I had this little hanging wind chime. I don't even want to call it a wind chime. Like it'll ding, but it's mostly decorative, and it's got these little hearts on it that they look like amber in the light. Like they're uh I don't know how to describe it except that it looks like amber to me. So, anyways, I was sitting on the porch one morning because I do like to go out there and like sip my coffee and let Lucy out and just enjoy the peace. And I heard that sound that hummingbirds make, and it scared me at first. But I look over, and this hummingbird was checking out that one of those hearts that look like amber because I think it must look like nectar to them or something. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a hummingbird. So I went to Amazon, ordered a feeder, filled it up, and sure enough, it only took a couple days and there was just a flood of hummingbirds. It was kind of insane at one point. they were there would be like at least 10 at a time just like swirling around this feeder. So then I bought another feeder. Um, and yeah, it's been really fun to watch them and just kind of take some time to slow down and watch the hummingbirds feed. Sadly, they're not coming back because, it's recording this episode, it's October. So, according to my research online in my area of the country, they start migrating south around this time. So, I think they're gonna be gone, but, like, this morning, there was one that was there first thing in the morning, so some of them are still around, but yeah, so the porch, really fun to decorate, really fun to find plants that fit the vibe of my porch. Currently, it's not totally finished, but, like, this week, some curtains came in for a meditation room. It's this extra room. It doesn't have a door. So I got beaded curtains for the door. And there's going to be a couch that's coming soon. But it'll be where guests stay. But the biggest reason it's there is for all things relaxation. It's coming together so nicely. I mean, it's just a room of peace and warmness, and oh my god, it fills me up with so much joy. The office, if you follow me on social media or in my loyal fans, you've definitely seen pictures of my office, and I'm just in love with it. It makes me so happy because I spend a lot of time sitting in here. So if I'm gonna spend a lot of time somewhere, I want it to be nice, and then the living room is really coming together with some wall art. It's just all these things make me so happy because I'm a nester and I love being in my spaces and feeling just that feeling of this is where I belong type of feeling, and like little things make me happy. So yeah, it's been really fun settling into the new place. Another thing that's been making me very, very happy is my morning routine. I've definitely settled into this new routine that is bringing me so much joy. I mean, I just start my day so fresh. So typically, before I started this routine, I kind of just woke up whenever I wanted to wake up or whenever Lucy wanted me to wake up. And it was never like I was sleeping in really late. It was usually somewhere between 7 and 8. Well, I decided to start waking up a little bit earlier than that. It takes me a very long time to get going in the morning. Just going to tell you, um, like, don't ever expect me to talk to you if you see me in the morning. I'm not talking for hours. It just takes me a long time to get going because I sleep so deeply too. So, anyways, I start my morning with some coffee, let Lucy out. I honestly can't tell you what happens during that first at least 30 minutes because I'm half asleep. But once I get going, I come upstairs, take a shower, and, kind of get dressed for the day. And then I go straight down to my now meditation room. I light incense and light some candles. And then I just sit there and I ground myself with some journaling. I'm reading a little bit, learning a little bit. And then I end that time with some meditation. And after that, go take a walk. And then I'm ready to start my day here in my office. And it just is a routine that is so cleansing to my soul. It feels so lovely. And I'm just so thankful that I have a job where I can work from home. I'm my own boss. So, I don't have that pressure of being here at a certain time, making myself look presentable, hopping in the car and, rushing off to work. I'm just very thankful and so grateful that I have a job that allows me to have this really cozy and really deep uh, morning routine that just is really good for my soul. Another thing that's been making me very, very happy, and it's coming later than I want, but these little teases of fall, I am so damn ready for it. I don't enjoy summer at all. I don't like being hot. I don't like the heat. I love fall. I actually don't mind the cold. Like I don't care when it gets cold. As long as I bundle up, I'm good, So, but fall is just so perfect. There's just almost like magic in the air. It's so cozy. So, I'm very thankful for that change of season coming. If you already have fall where you live, I'm so jealous. Um, I'm so ready to see the oranges and the yellows and the reds. It's coming soon. I can feel it. I can smell it. um, so, next, I'm going to talk about some of my content and kind of my creative side, updates, my business stuff. I'm just going to kind of ramble on about that now. so, one thing I took note here to talk about, and it probably is going to be very good for me to talk about this because it gets out of me, it releases for me, so that's a good thing. I am failing at social media and DMs, totally failing at them. Um, and I'm working, I'm making little steps to get better at that because it does bother me. It bothers me. Why does it bother me? Well, with the social media, I feel like, I started up Instagram and TikTok with a lot of excitement and then it kind of fell to the wayside because it wasn't in my current systems. And when I say systems, I mean my rhythm, my groove. I hadn't set up, you know, I kind of started it and then I didn't bake it into my system is what happened. So, that bothers me that it started and I'm not feeding it. Um and the DMs, those so that bothers me because the last thing I want a fan, and I hate saying that word fan. Um the last thing I want someone that follows my work, and especially within my subscription site, loyal fans, the last thing I want them to think is that they are not appreciated, cared for, forgotten, and I guess that's what is that? What is that feeling? It's I'm thinking like the golden rule, treat yourself or treat others like you want to treat yourself. That must be something that sits within me a lot. Because I don't know. I don't want to say that I shouldn't care. But I shouldn't let it bother me because I know that most of my people know that that is never the case. I know they are appreciated, but it really does bother me when I can't get to them in timely manners. So, I'm trying to find ways to do that. And if you know me in my business, I am a workhorse. I just I love creating content. That is where my joy is at. That is where my focus is at all the time. And, when I spend most of my day doing the CEO type stuff and then doing the content stuff, my brain is just completely drained. I mean, think of a sponge and you've just squeezed every ounce of water out of it. That's my brain. And so at the end of the day, it's like I cannot mentally handle going to that DM. I could, and it'd be pathetic. You wouldn't get my best self, and I don't want that, right? And then, I have my own life. I have my own stuff to do. Um, so that's just always it's always this thing that I'm grappling with and always trying to figure out how I can manage those because it's important to me to talk to my fans. It's very important to me actually. I want to always have my fingertips in my fans because there's so many beautiful things that happen in there. They support me, they empower me. They, speaking from a business standpoint, there's maybe business in there to take care of, like someone's wants to order a custom. There's that in DMs. And then there's the piece that is so important to me that in my brand, I always want to be someone that is genuine, relatable, and someone that you can easily respect. And to me, if I am not those things, I don't exude those things, then I'm going to fail because I will definitely have failed myself because I have a vision, I have a purpose and a vibe that I want to exude in my work. And then you're not going to stick around because I do think that we all want to be seen. At that's at the core of we just want to be seen. And I want to see you, my fans. I want to see you. I want to know you, but I am one person and there are many people on the other side. So it's good to talk that out. Thank you for listening to that. And there is no need for you to message me and say it's okay. Blah, blah. I know who you are. Those of you that are so patient and so understanding. I know. I'm not saying this to gather up support or whatever. Um, it felt important to me to put it out there, and it definitely is something that is on my mind in terms of my business. But let's talk about something a little more exciting. At least it's exciting to me. It's a little darky, but I use Notion. It is such a big tool in my business. It's like my little hub for planning and everything. So I I had to reevaluate um, my kind of planning piece. I mean, the more I do this, the busier I get, and I needed a Notion. Like I've had several Notion templates for like my content planning, and I feel like I finally found one that's going to stick. So let me see if I can explain it. So, if you don't know what Notion is, it's mm, I don't even know like a general thing to call it. You have databases within it, and people use it for planning. People use it for projects. It's a really neat um, software. I don't know if you call it software. Anyway, I love it. It helps me stay organized, and so I created a database it's called a task um, dashboard. And so anything that I need to do day to day, I input into there. So I'm going to actually pull it up and talk about just a little examples of what are in there. So, like right now, I have like record so and so's personalization, plan social media calendar, email so and so on this topic, set up this new project, draft this, finish planning, create this, so like all the little steps that I have day to day, that's where it is. And then I have a related, that's the term they use in Notion when two databases are connected. So I have this connected database that's called Beatrix Content Calendar, where I list content that is being produced currently or in the future. And so the task, I can relate them to each of those pieces of content. And it has a date of when I plan to publish that piece of content. And so it just, it works really wonderfully right now. And now I'm figuring out as I go that if something is not in that task dashboard, it's not getting done, because I've definitely been conditioning myself to look at that task dashboard, and I look nowhere else. That's where I'm looking. And so see, this is why it's important to talk things out, because I just thought, if I put in there answer DMs every day, I'm going to do those, because seriously, I've gotten to where it didn't take long. I am now conditioned to rely on my task dashboard to know what to do. So yeah, I've been really excited about that personally. Some recent files that I have pushed, well, not pushed out yet, but did I finish it yesterday? Yesterday, the day before, I finished a file that is called Shrink for Mommy's Magic Milk. And so this was a custom. I have a file called Tit Addict Trance. And a gentleman wanted kind of like a part two, but a little different. And so in Tit Addict Trance, it's basically like you worship my tits, and as you worship them, they get bigger, they grow and swell. Super hot concept. And so this particular gentleman wanted the kind of the same concept in a way, so tit worship. However, instead of my tits getting bigger, you get smaller. So it's playing on a little giantess kind of play. And then by the end of the file, you are reduced down to like an inch tall. And I decide that, oh, well, you're just going to be a little bra pet. And I'm going to stuff you in my bra, and you're going to make my nipple hard all the time. So it's very, very fun. I loved the concept. I love when I get to make magic happen in a file. And when I get to be creative, that's always so much fun. Um, I recently pushed out Tranced and Milk by a Stripper public. And I think it's gotten some good reviews. So, if you haven't heard it, definitely go check it out. It's a very strong file. It is premature ejaculation, but it is. I love this style of premature ejaculation fetish, like where I don't really talk about making you pre-jack. Like, I use my feminine charms, my devious feminine charms to make you come fast, because I'm just that good. Like, that is such a hot energy. Um, and so that's what that file is. And it was so fun to make. And I figured it would be a good file to push out to exhibit my my power as a, erotic hypno artist and my skill with the premature ejaculation kink. Um, Something that has been happening outside of my will, and like I wanted this to be my will, but I hadn't really made any action towards it. It's been happening and it's been making me so fucking excited to see. So, I have a Discord server, and I've always had these hopes and dreams that it would feel like a community. And, it just never, like, people are there, and I can tell people are looking and watching it, but it hasn't like had a lot of activity until recently. Just all of a sudden, I started noticing people interacting in there, like interacting with each other. And it's been so fucking pleasant to see. Like, there's always been this weird thing. Like, so when I have these people that are fans, I I have this little fantasy that I want them all to like each other and get along and be this little community. It's so silly. Um, but it's almost like I would liken it to how a mother would feel knowing that her children are playing and getting along. Like I would liken it to that. Um, it's adorable. I love to see it because, I mean, essentially, you've got a group of people that, are fans of a content creator. Like, more than likely, they would all have the same interests and likes. And I'm sorry, I would enter a contest if I could that competed against who has the best fans because I do. Like, seriously, I have the best people. They're all so smart. That's what I love about my fans. They're very intelligent. They're very in touch with they're emotionally intelligent as well. And they're interesting and caring and just the best, just the absolute best. And so to see them like interacting is making my heart so fucking happy. Um, and it's making me feel. Because here's the thing, okay? With DMs, like, of course, I don't have time at all to have conversations with people. Like, like if you were to join my Discord and be like, I really like Beatrix, I'm gonna text her and we're just gonna chat. That's never gonna happen because I just do not have that time. Um, or patience, and I don't need friends like that. I know that sounds totally bitchy, but I don't, like I'm too busy for that. Um, and I've always had this vision that it would be easier for me to share my personality and my server because that way I get to talk to lots of people at once instead of having lots of DMs. So I'm hoping like, it's inspiring me to share myself more and my server besides, posting files and promoting and stuff. Like it's inspiring me to get in there and, just kind of be me and socialize with you guys. So definitely join the Discord server. If you're not in there or come if you're in there and you haven't really checked in, check in because people are interacting and it's so I love it. I love it so, so much. So next thing I wanted to kind of hit on, so kind of my mm, the skeleton of these cozy episodes, I put in there a section for community and engagement. And so for this episode, I just want to mention one thing. I want to ask one thing. I want to ask you, what do you guys want to hear from the podcast? Because I've been kind of stuck. I haven't been inspired by any topics lately. So, let me know if there's, a particular kink or just a topic you'd like to hear me talk about on this podcast. I love to unpack kinks and stuff. So, if there's one that I haven't done, let me know. You can let me know in the comments of this podcast episode, wherever you're listening to. You can let me know in the Discord server. You can let me know in loyal fans. Yeah, I'm wanting to know, what do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to hear more of? I'd love to know if you enjoyed this cozy episode where I'm just chatting. I'd like to know if you didn't like it. I'm not scared to know if you don't like things, but obviously I want to hear good things. But again, like if something doesn't work, let me know, because that is super, super helpful to know. I do like to mold myself to what you guys want, because that's what this podcast is. I really don't have to do this. I'm going to be honest, I don't make money from this podcast. Like, it's not this monetization thing. Um, it it is a way for me to, for one, for you to hear my voice. Two, it's to bring me closer to you. So essentially this podcast is for you. So I want to know what you want to hear. And last thing I want to hit on, I'll let you know what the last section is. It's reflections or just random thoughts. So I do want to leave you with a couple things. The first thing is a random thought that I am currently getting into tea, drinking hot tea. I've always liked hot tea. I knew I loved peppermint tea. There's just something about it I love. Um, and I am getting into trying out different herbal teas. And it's a good thing for me because I do use my voice. So I'm hoping it can just keep making my voice amazing. But there's a lot of health benefits from herbal teas that I'm super excited to learn about and to use for myself. One thing that I've been trying out is some hibiscus tea. It just has so many wonderful benefits to your health, and it's really tangy and tart and delicious. Um, so that's really exciting. That's something I've been learning about recently that yeah, I'm thinking about putting a little tea corner in my office so I can have tea throughout the day. Um, the other thing I wanted to pull up for this last like random thought, and it really is a challenge for you to think about. I and I'm thinking this may become a podcast episode. I don't know. But I think it's very important for us to find ways to sink into things that make us feel good in safe ways. And what I mean by that is it's very, because I live in a world of pleasure. I bring a lot of pleasure to people. And so that can become addictive. However, I want you to really think about that. So think about that word addictive, because I hear often your voice is so addicting. I feel addicted to you. Okay, so what does that really mean? What does addicting mean? Like, can you live without it? Can you function without it? Or are you obsessed? Or do you really like it? But really, what I wanted to bring into this was I want to start pushing more balance. Balance is so important, especially with these, very intense, deep emotions that erotic hypnosis can bring, and things like gooning and porn. Of course, I'm going to push, feel good. Yeah, keep going. And I'll always push that. But if you feel good and you kept going, as in, let's just use gooning as an example. If you spent hours gooning, that I am so for that. I am so proud of you for that. But I encourage you to balance that with something completely opposite. Take breaks. They're good for you. They really are good for you. Um, and I also am a big proponent for kink acceptance and, you know, smashing, kink shaming. We hold so much shame with sexuality. It's kind of, for some of us, depending on your age, it's like, or your religious upbringing, it's like pushed into you, and it's so deep rooted to be ashamed of your sexuality, to be ashamed that you get turned on. And I am so for smashing those things. Um, but I just want you to kind of think about the whole thing with balance, and I'm thinking about it too, on how I can encourage that in my hardcore fans, to practice healthy balance and healthy kink consumption, because it's very easy to get lost in the pleasure and to just keep hitting that dopamine button over and over and over again. But a lot of something is never good. Um, Taking a lot and then taking a lot of something else. So to balance it out. So I'm going to leave you with that. And thank you so much for listening. If you've lasted this long, I hope you enjoyed this little cozy chat with B. I hope to do these, like I said, once a month now. And yeah, just thanks for listening. And until next time, stay balanced. And that's a wrap for this episode of The Slut Next Door, where we dive deep into the raw, unapologetic truths of human desire. If you loved what you heard today, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a juicy moment. Want to connect with me outside the podcast? Click the link in my bio, where you can find lots of juicy content and options. Until next time, I'm Beatrix Vale, your Slut Next Door, and I'll see you in the next episode.